Hey guys, welcome to another installment of Read and Review. This is way overdue. I do apologize for that. But believe me, there's a lot of legitimate reasons for this review being a little late. One, I had a lot of things going on between personal family members and also me with terms of, with job situation as well as other situations that surfaced that was beyond my control. And two, the book I'm going to be talking about, I'm just gonna lay it out there. Really didn't draw my interest as much as I was hoping, and that book is actually this one here called Outlaw, a book by Angus Donald. It is pretty much an interesting tale of Robin Hood, and a very fascinating one. However, as I read this book, it never drew me, and that's not because of the author. It's because of the fact that I'm not a big Robin Hood fan at all. I think the only Robin Hood movie I actually enjoyed in my lifetime was actually the Disney's version. It's something about the Disney version I just loved about it. I love the fox. I love the Fried Tuck, who was actually blue in this one. It was more fun, entertaining. I still enjoyed watching that Robin Hood adaptation very, very much. Other than that, I was not a big fan of most of the movies that came out. The Kevin Costner film was okay. It wasn't perfect, great. I can understand why a lot of people didn't like it. I thought it was alright. The Man in Tights with the spoof, and it just basically was not a good spoof at that. I didn't even see the Russell Crowe one. It just never got my interest, and probably one of the main reasons why I didn't get my interest because I always thought he was a Tootie Goosey who had this idea that he robbed from the rich and gave it to the poor, and that was basically it. And he basically freed the country from Nottingham from this evil king, and the other king went on this crazy journey with no reason whatsoever. And I just never really got into that whole thing, and it really didn't bother me a lot with that. So I was more into Camelot fantasy world. I was more into the author's legend. I really didn't care about nothing else after that. But this book was given to me by my uncle, and I decided, just to give it a try. If anything else, it probably would surprise me, and for the most part, it definitely did surprise me. And one of the main reasons is, first, it's not being told by Robin Hood or by the author. It's being told by someone who actually dealt with Robin Hood. It's being told by his point of view. And it's a very good narration. When you read it, it actually brings a very darker, more realistic tale to the character. And what I mean by that is, this is actually the first time this character is not really a hero. He's an anti-hero, to the point where he's just as much vicious than the king, and the sheriff himself. This guy, he has a hidden agenda. He doesn't just do things out of the gracious of his heart. It has a price, and you see that throughout this book. Another thing I like about this book, mostly, is the fact that this book, in terms of historical literature, is very, very good. I think that if the critics have said that this book is a very strong read in terms of historical facts, and it definitely is a very historic fact. Angus Donald is very good at describing some things that even I was very much thrilled and fascinated about. So I give him credit with that. I guess if I have a complaint, it just didn't draw me. I wanted to be drawn by this, I really did. It just didn't draw me enough to really, stay on this book every single minute. It's some books, like the Harry Potter books, once you start reading it, I didn't want to put it down. I wanted to keep it more and more, to the point where I had to stop myself in order to not overboard. I think the longest book, Harry Potter and Order of the Phoenix, took me only 2 days. That's how good that book was to me. I actually read that book in 2 days, and I was mad that I actually finished it, and I actually went back and read it some more. There are books like that. There are books that grab me quickly, and I don't want to put it down. This book, it didn't grab me right away. I mean, it was a good read, but it was not something I felt I need to finish right away. It really didn't compel me to continue moving on. And I guess for me, that it did hurt the book a bit because I really did want to like it, but I didn't, I wasn't captivated by it as much as probably you guys probably did if you read the book or anybody else. Would I recommend it for someone who likes Robin Hood? Oh yeah, I think this book is very solid. I think the book is definitely worthy of checking out, especially if you're a big fan of the Robin Hood legend. You will actually love this book. And by the way, there's actually more into the series than I actually thought it was. I just thought it was just one book. There's actually about four, and I think he's working on the fifth one now. But there's actually a whole bunch of books. If you like history, you're going to like this as well because it mentioned a lot of historical events. It's considered historical fiction, for what I understand, and it definitely brings up a lot of good historical events. It brings up some stuff that did actually happen. So if you're definitely into that kind of a mixture of genre, you're definitely gonna love this as well. And I gotta give props to the author. The author he is very good. He is good with his writing. It's just for me, on a whole, and this is just me, guys. It's not. I'm not saying this is a terrible book. It's just me. I'm just not, interested in this character. I'm not interested in Robin Hood, and unfortunately, even though the book is a very good read, it wasn't something that I wanted to finish right away or wanted to stay reading. It wasn't like Marilyn or the other books that I have come across, and it's just unfortunate, but it does happen, unfortunately. But what I can tell you is that when you do read it, if you're a Robin Hood fan, be prepared to see a whole different light of Robin Hood. Be prepared to see a whole new perspective in Robin Hood because, like I said, it's being told by a different person, and how he came across Robin Hood is kind of unique because he was in a situation where he was actually became a thief, and he admittedly said right off the bat that he liked being a thief. He wanted to do this right at the point where he got caught. He went to the well too often, and the sheriff himself had ordered him to go to the castle where they was gonna pretty much cut his hand off. Well, somehow the guards didn't have a good grip, and he managed to escape, and he ran through hundreds of streets. He managed to make it home, but he knew he couldn't stay there because someone actually pointed him out, and basically Robin Hood. Robin Hood gave him pretty much a test. He didn't. Robin Hood gave him pretty much a test. He didn't really acknowledge him at first, but after a while he joined in the group. But not before seeing probably one of the most unexpected read when I read it. Robin Hood basically punishing the guy, and how he punished him is pretty much out there. I mean, it really was out there. That basically realized that he's with a bunch of guys who are not really nice guys, and these guys are in fact outlaws, and they do act like outlaws. That pretty much struck me by surprise because, like I said again, I had a pretty much in my head that Robin Hood is a tutti-frutti guy who thinks he just gives to the rich and gives to the poor, and it's pretty much a love story between him and Maiden and all that stuff. And this book really much changed that whole perspective all throughout. So if you want a different take on that, you're definitely going to enjoy it. Rating wise, this was not a bad book, not at all. It's not a book that I'm not. It's not a book that for me, I didn't really get into it too much. But if I'm gonna give it a strong rating, I will give it a good 7 out of 10, equivalent to 3 stars. It's definitely more for those who are deep down fans of Robin Hood and they want to get a brand new perspective on Robin Hood. You should definitely, and it is definitely geared towards Robin Hood. But if you're just geared towards historical factors, yeah, give this book a shot. I think you should check it out. Don't just take my word for it. Check it out. You may actually enjoy it more than I did, and that's pretty much all I can say about it. But so again, I wish I could tell you anything more positive, but unfortunately, like I said, it just didn't have much staying power on me. But that's pretty much it for now. I will be having another book review coming soon, so keep an eye on that. It probably more sooner than this one did. So look for that. Until then, J77 saying take care.